So when you first get your box, it's sent to you in the mail, you want it to look like this. So once you open it, you're going to see the pucks lined up in their holes and slots. You've got the pouch to hold the pucks. Inside the pouch bag is the user manual and instructions. So these you can go through and see how to set it up for driver, short irons, mid irons, for your putting, for your chipping, pitching, and bunker play. There's examples in there that detail all that. There also are videos online on our website that go through and talk about how to set up and use this system in each one of those applications. You'll notice that this cardboard box has the tubes packaged in them. This end piece easily attaches to the pouch. There's a carabiner on a tethered string. This tethered ring attaches to the end of the pouch. The carabiner goes into the end of the tube, and you can either hang this from your tube and keep your pouch attached in your bag. You can take the carabiner off and attach this anywhere on your bag, in a belt, in a loop, or anywhere else you want to. Or you can use it as a keychain. When these things come together, this is a 4-puck system with 7 rods. It's a very slender case. You can see all these rods fit in here pretty easily. So for right now, we're just going to put this tube away and show you how to set it up so that you can use it. What we're going to do first is use the 2 longest rods, because what I'm going to set up next is the process by which you set it up to use it. The longer rod is going to be used for your foot alignment rod, like here, where you're standing here. It also serves for you to be able to check your backswing and a pre-shot backswing check. The way you use it, I put this into one of the lower ports. There's a set of ports on the top part and on the lower port. The lower side stays stationary, the top port, you can move it. So I put the longer rod so that there's enough room extending from the side for my left foot to have enough room so that I can see several inches of clearance and whether my feet are aligned in the direction I want them to be. The next rod I usually put in place is the second longest rod right here, and I put that in the top port. This then extends to the ball and extends between my feet. The reason I use this one is because this one typically is long enough for you to use for a driver. And you can set this, lock it in place, and I've got it now set so it's 90 degrees. The next rod that I'm going to set in place is going to be my target line. The reason I have a separate target line from your foot alignment rod is because the closer you place the target line for aiming purposes to the ball, the more effective you are as far as aiming and scoring and putting the ball in play at the line you intend to. If you use the foot line as your target line, the ball will be left of the target. So taking a second puck and inserting it in the same upper level as this ball line, I slide it down to this point. I'm going to use the next longest rod as a target alignment rod, and I'm going to extend that so that it's all the way extended out on the system, and I'll set that at 90 degrees for our purposes at this point. There will be times where you might want to change that if you're trying to hit a draw, or you're trying to hit, like for putting, you might decide that you're going to have your target line be off the line of the hole from where you're standing. The next rod in place that we're going to use is the downswing rod. And I place this as close to the ball as I can. And again, mindful, it's attached to the ball alignment guide rod, so it goes in the top port. And this one, I'll use one of the next longer rods, put this into the bottom port closest to the hole, and I leave most of the rod extending out to my backswing side of the target of the alignment process. So again, line up 90 degrees here. My particular downswing path is 20 degrees, and you can see on here there are index marks, and every one of the index marks is 5 degrees, and you can see with the index along the index marks, I have it set on the 4th degree setting from the 90 degree, which would be 20 degrees in this point. This is now set up at similar to what we had set up as a demonstration. Now you can see that this thing doesn't move once you lock it down. Putting it down in place, you can set everything up so it's square. I use the 18-inch rod, which is the shortest rod in the system, for my vertical alignment. And this goes in the foot alignment rod in a port right on the end. I'm now able to set my feet with regard to the ball. I can look at the target line, my downswing line, so that I know exactly where I have to go. Now the fourth puck that comes in the system is used if you need to establish a placement of your feet for different rods. The modern day philosophy is that you probably keep your feet relative to the ball in the same position. Old school philosophy tells you to shift the ball closer to your midline for your shorter irons. So with this system, you can easily do that by putting this heel alignment rod, as I've called it, into the top port, and the foot alignment rod is going to go into this bottom port. Like that. I now have it set up so that my heel, I can align anywhere I want to. I can position it down this rod wherever I might want to for the ball placement. The reason you might want to do this is, again, learning how to place the ball back in your stance if you want to hit a lower ball flight, or if you're more used to playing it off the center of your alignment. For a beginner, this is particularly important for you to learn to be able to set your feet in exactly the same position every time you use the club, every time you swing a club. So this is the basic setup and alignment. And if you notice with the rods all on the same level, it sits flat, so that all the rods that are parallel to the ball alignment feet are in the lower rod. All the rods that are parallel to the ball alignment rod go in the upper level. It now sits level. And that is something that you can modify and change to any position that you need to. The system is designed for you to be able to change it as you need. It isn't locked in any one position. It's completely, infinitely variable. So once you have the system set in place, the beauty of it is, as you get divots, or if you want to change your position with regard to the ball or target flight, you can easily adjust it. Everything moves at once. You don't have to worry about realigning all the different rods. You can pick it up and move it. And the beauty of this system is it's infinitely variable and adjustable. What I just showed you is kind of a standard way to set it up. But you can change the distance your feet are away, the distance you are from the ball, where the ball sits in your stance, where your downswing path is, where your target line is. to your needs. You can change it any way you want to. It's adjustable to make it work specifically for your needs.